Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got a few topics here that I want to cover with some HBAR updates. Got a lot of stuff going on here with Hedera as always, and great to see, right? Very great to see. As I've said before, all they've been doing during the whole bear market was just working, getting their head down, getting stuff done. And that's what I like about Hedera. You know, like they wasn't fazed by the bear market. They've not really been rattled by the bear market. They've managed to get through and survived where many companies and, you know, exchanges didn't. So that already says a great deal about them. And they actually continue to like make partnerships, continue to develop on the network, expand the network, all that kind of stuff. You know, even when we look at the 4.86 billion token unlock, right? I know that's a lot of money and people thinking about diluting the market, but they're expanding the ecosystem. That's them reinvesting back into the network. So you can see that they're really still trying to build and really trying to, you know, beef up the network as much as they can and really trying to develop and expand on it as much as possible. So again, to me, it says a lot. It shows that they've got the money to do this as well because, you know, during these types of bear markets that people see, some networks haven't even got the money to do any kind of self-development, right? Like they haven't got the money to reinvest back into themselves or anything like that. They're simply just trying to survive. They're just trying to sustain as much as they can, right? So again, real great stuff to see. But we have here from the HBAR Foundation, through DaVinci Graph, anyone can create a token on the Hedera network in minutes. No coding skills, no headaches. It's time to leverage the power of the hashgraph. Great stuff to see here. Obviously this is more for the developers, but then on the other side of this comes down to, look, if you're just someone who has an idea with crypto and you think, you know, this is something that I think could be a great use case for Hedera, you know, a great use case for HBAR, but you've not really got no kind of coding skills or anything like that. Hey, create the token, see what you can do, right? Like it's basically saying, hey, anyone can create a token here. Anyone can create a use case for HBAR if you want to. And that's a great thing because I've said this numerous times. All it takes is one great use case to really blow up. And that could not only make, you know, you wildly successful, but also the network wildly successful, right? Like if you get something that's really, really that great, an idea that's really, really that great, and it really does take off and gets mass adopted, well, obviously that's going to be you getting the value from that, and it's also going to be the network getting the value from that. So this is really great, and it just shows you that this is the power of decentralization, right? There's no gatekeepers here or anything like that. It's you can create a token, you can call it whatever you want, you can create whatever purpose you want for that token, and you can create your own utility. You could make your own idea of what you want HBAR to be used for. So this is how this stuff works, guys. This is why crypto is so great, because it evens the playing field. Where things were a lot more difficult back in the day, if you wanted to try and get into this kind of thing, like you might need more of a background in coding and that kind of stuff. No, they're trying to make it as easy as possible for you, and you're on a decentralized network. So there's no one to stop you. There's no one to get in your way or anything like that. You do what you want to do. So everybody's got the opportunity, if they've got a great idea, to potentially create a huge use case for HBAR. And that's the kind of stuff that I just like with crypto. It really does make it a much more fair and even playing field for the average people. That's what's so great about it. So this is great to see. I'm not saying that everybody's got to go ahead and try and do this, because of course not everybody's got a great idea to do anything with HBAR, and that's okay. I'm the same. I don't have any genius idea that could be a great utility for HBAR. You know, I invest in the network and let the other developers do their thing, but it's just nice to know that the opportunity is there for you, right? And even for the developers, it's making life easy for them as well. So for the developers who do have these ideas and want to try and bring something to fruition, they know that the opportunity is there, and it's going to be a lot easier for them, because the harder it is to do, the harder it is to attract people to your network, right? Because if it's a lot of hassle and difficulties involved in trying to create a token or anything like that, well, developers will say it's just not worth it, right? It's just too difficult. Whereas when it's nice and straightforward, it's like, okay, let me give it a go. Like it seems very easy. Like let me just put forward my use case for it, you know, put together like a white paper or something and see how things go, you know, give it a try. So the opportunity is there. the opportunity is there, which is great to see. So if anybody's interested, the door's open, your choice, right? Okay, moving on. We have Solo Ceesay. Solo Ceesay is one of the creators of the Caxy app, an app that I have done a video on. I have covered it. Real good app, real smooth interface, easy to use, looks really cool. I can actually imagine in the future a lot of people wanting to use this app. To be honest with you, it is just like a cooler version of X, in my opinion. When crypto really does take off and people are getting more involved and mass adoptions coming along, I can see Caxy taking off personally. I can see the opportunity there. To me, it looks really great in my opinion. And you know how it is. When crypto's flying, everybody wants to be involved in some way, shape or form. That's how it is. So when crypto's going through like the bull run, which it looks like we're doing with right now, everybody wants to know what's going on with crypto. What can I do to be involved with crypto? So that's just an app that's there and readily available. And the other thing about the app is just it makes it so much easier to send money. So if you want to transfer, some money from one person to another, if they've both got a Caxy app profile, you can literally just send it to the profile. You haven't got to worry about having their address, right? Which is like a long alphanumeric number. No like consistency to whatever. It's just literally jumbled letters and numbers. So that alone is making life a lot easier for people, because they've done a quick video of it and they showed you how it works. And it's literally just like sending a text message. It's like, send, what do you want to send? Do you want to send HBAR? Do you want to send USDC? Whatever, pick your crypto. How much do you want to send? Put the amount in, click send, and it just goes to the person. That simple. So for that reason alone, it could make people want to use it, because they might be like, it's just so hard having to keep saving everybody's addresses, or I'm worrying about choosing the right network and all that kind of stuff. Well, with this, you haven't got to do that, right? If they're both on the Caxy app, they just send it to that person's profile. The money will all be done behind the scenes. The transfer will go through much easier. So already you can see how that could be a big deal, right? But anyway, let's get back on track. We have Solo Ceesay here, and he's actually on NASDAQ. He's talking to NASDAQ about Karate Combat. What I've said to you guys, Karate Combat really making leaps and bounds all over the place. Like, I've seen a recent trailer for one of their up and coming events, and man, like, they're starting to show you some of their knockouts in the trailers and stuff like that, and man, it's looking brutal. And I'm not saying that to say, hey, we want to see brutality, but let's be honest, when it comes to things like boxing, UFC, all that kind of stuff, that's what people are interested in, right? Like, they want to see a good fight. It's the knockouts and stuff that people are interested in. So I can see how that's going to entice people. But it's not just that. It's like, what I'm trying to show you guys is that it's already looking very much like UFC. Like, you can see the brutality in it. Yeah, you can see how these knockouts can occur and like what they're like. And so, man, I've said it numerous times, but they really have got the opportunity here to be the crypto UFC. So that to me is already saying a lot. The fact that Solo Ceesay is here talking about them on the NASDAQ show, it says a lot, man. Like, they're paying attention, guys. Like, this company is getting attention. This sport is getting attention. It's growing. And how early this company is in terms of its growth, it's really fast paced. It is. It's really, really fast paced how quick they're growing. So I look forward to seeing them in like another 6 months to a year, seeing what kind of stuff they're doing then. We've already seen that BitBoy fight, which obviously brought a lot of eyes to the show, to the sport. They also had Rick Ross, who was hosting one of their fights as well. They're making big progress here, guys. They're making very big progress. So definitely one to keep an eye on. And Karate Combat, I think the thing with Karate Combat that makes them so unique is the whole betting thing with the app, right? With the karate token. That is the unique element into this, and that's where they get, I think that's where they've got a bit of an upper hand, because you can just think of how people like to place bets and stuff like that when they're watching fights and things. This is where it's a lot easier, and because it's like just over your phone, it's a lot easier to do, and you can bet with much smaller money, right? You might not want to bet big money. You might only have, a few dollars to bet, but you can do that. You just do it for your phone, small bet, watching it, having fun, that kind of thing. Everyone can participate. So I can see how that could be something that could hugely continue to drive more people wanting to get involved. And start thinking about it from like the NFT perspective as well, right? Like you've got certain fighters, you could have these fighters who are NFTs, NFT cards and stuff like that. I've said it before, but think about it like Pokemon cards, right? Or football stickers where you get like a football book and you keep getting the football players and putting them to a sticker book. Imagine like a digital version of that kind of thing. Man, the opportunities, I can already see where this can go. So very positive here. So great stuff to see in regards to that. Okay, so moving on from that, we've now got SaucerSwap. And I've covered them very recently in a video and just more progress that they're making here. So we have the HBAR Foundation saying, in 2024, SaucerSwap Labs is the leading DEX on Hedera. Predictable gas fees, no front running, no MEV, and lightning fast speeds. That's why they're breaking record after record. Let's dive into this alien tech on Hedera. So, I mean, yeah, absolutely, really are breaking records. I keep watching them on like Hedera, like seeing the posts that they're doing, and it just seems like they keep growing, keep doing new milestones. And again, like Karate Combat, it's happening at a fast pace. It's like exponential. It really is. Like it seems like both of these companies, that they seem to be having like a snowball effect, right? Where they've kind of pushed far enough now where it's just like growing and growing and growing. And it's happening at a very fast pace. So we've got here just another post from them. New weekly volume all-time high. In the past week, SaucerSwap has processed more than 150,000 unique transactions, accounting for over $93 million in total volume. Projected annually, this translates to 11.87 million in fees generated for SaucerSwap liquidity providers. Guys, make no mistake, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. And then let's move on to this one. 300 million in 30 days. SaucerSwap processed over 300 million in trades last month across 700,000 plus transactions via the Hedera smart contract service. On Ethereum, assuming an $80 gas fee, this would incur 56 million in fees, making it over 1,000 times costlier than Hedera. And that's why eventually I don't think people will stick to Ethereum. It's not to knock Ethereum to say like, oh, it's terrible, because again, Ethereum was the first of its kind in terms of smart contracts. So I'll give it its props in that sense. But we just have to be honest here. It can't scale. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it fails. It's very costly. And it's slow. That's just the truth of the matter. So it's not to say that I don't like Ethereum. In terms of using it, I'll be honest with you, I don't, because it's not a great experience. It's really not, like, especially when you're in a bull run and Ethereum's going up in value, because the fees go up in value as well. Not just in terms of the congestion, but also just in terms of the fees are more expensive because the token is more expensive, right? It's worth more. So that makes it a problem too. So, you know, when you think about it from that perspective, right now, I think with Ethereum, it really is just, it's just better the devil you know. That's all it is right now. It's people are used to Ethereum. And let's be real, like when it comes to the whole SEC, like although they're not necessarily saying that Ethereum isn't a security, which we'll see where that goes, because if anyone here has any kind of familiarity with the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, you'll know about ETHgate, which uncovered a lot of shadiness with the SEC and Ethereum. They've been very protective of Ethereum. Like when Bill Hinman did a speech speaking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, it was only Bitcoin and Ethereum that he spoke of, saying that they were happy, they were decentralized, and so they didn't feel like they were securities. They never mentioned any other cryptos. And don't get me wrong, Hedera have done everything they can to be as compliant as they possibly can. So I would like to think that they're not people who would get caught in the crosshairs of the SEC. But I'll be honest with you, after seeing how the SEC are, it really doesn't matter what you've done to be compliant. Like, they just are drunk on power right now. And Gary Gensler just wants to take the crypto space down. Like, he has clearly said, the only thing he doesn't class as a security right now is Bitcoin. He has said that. So, in that sense, HBAR essentially to him is a security. Now, is it one of those things where he was really just generalizing and he really wasn't meaning to be that specific? And if you was to mention some odd few cryptos, he might say, no, I wouldn't deem those as securities. Who knows? But those were his words. So if we're going by his words, that's what he was saying. And so I can understand some developers maybe thinking, well, they said ETH was okay, so I'd rather just stick with ETH for now, at least until there's like regulations and stuff like that where we know like the coast is clear. But I've shown you guys many times that there are companies migrating from Ethereum over to Hedera, and it's a no-brainer as to why. You can see it right here. The fees are just way cheaper. It just makes sense to do that. So not really a surprising thing here at all, but SaucerSwap really growing here at a rapid pace. I'm very interested to see where SaucerSwap can end up in terms of as a DEX, because they're growing so fast. Like, they've made it now into like the top 20. I'm anticipating they could very possibly get into the top 10. I'm thinking that's a very real possibility, because the way they've grown, I've not seen any DEX grow the way they have. That's just me. Now, it could be if you show me a lot more proof and say, hey, there's this, then maybe I would think differently. But just from what I've seen, they really seem to be a big deal in my opinion. I'll be very interested to see what they can do here for the long term. But yes, I'm anticipating, not saying it will happen, but I'm anticipating to see them potentially in the top 10. I think it's a possibility. Whether it will happen, I don't know. But I think it's a very real possibility just looking at the way they've been growing so far. So, a lot going on here, as I say. A lot of things to be excited about here. Real great things that we've got going on. Real great stuff being done. And companies, SaucerSwap Labs, Karate Combat, two huge players in the Hedera space, and I think they can contribute massively to the Hedera ecosystem. I really do. So really intrigued to see how these guys get on. But yeah, as I say guys, that's just a quick update, but very much a lot to be excited about. And with the bull run, what's looking like it is in full effect as it stands, I'm thinking that HBAR should be good to get a lot of that action with everything that's been going on for them. They've been making a lot of positive steps. So I'm looking forward to see what can happen. And I'm sure you guys are too. But what do you guys think? With everything I've said from this update in this video, do you like the sound of the things that I've just mentioned? Which topic in particular that I've covered are you most excited about? Do you think any of the topics that I've covered will be good for HBAR's price? Or do you not like the sound of this video? Is there any particular topic that I've covered that's actually giving you any kind of concern for HBAR? Is there any particular topic that I've covered that actually makes you concerned for HBAR? Or do you just not think that any of the topics that I've covered will be good for HBAR's price overall long term? Let me know your thoughts guys, I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.